everyone. I am just a smidge early. Welcome. It's Marcy here from Stampin' with Marcy. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Southwestern Ontario, Canada. And I'd like to welcome you to my Monday morning live. It is Monday, January the 8th. How did it get to be the 8th already? um, Please say hello when you join me. Let me know where you're coming from. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you're enjoying my content. Uh, please click that subscribe button below as well as that notification bell so you don't miss any future videos from me. All right, so today we are going to be creating 3 cards with the Sending Love bundle. This for me was a must-have from the new mini catalog. Hello, Sue, how are you? Let me just bring you up here so that I can, once I flip, I'll be able to see you. All my comments there. All right. Hello, Donna from New Hamburg. Yes, so we are using products from also the celebration brochure. It is celebration time. Woo woo. Every $60 you spend before tax and shipping from January 4th to February 29th, you're going to earn free products. And that is from the celebration brochure. So let's flip you around so that I can close your eyes if you get motion sickness. Look at that, January 8th, and look at that green there. That is my front yard, the grass. This weather is crazy. So hopefully we will eventually get some actual winter weather for those snowmobilers, skiers, tobogganers. Yes. So let me just tighten you up here and adjust things. Okay. And move my camera or my phone, I should say, just slightly. Oh, we're not quite. That's why. Give me one more sec. I don't have any fancy equipment. It is my Archon stand and my iPhone that I use to do my videoing, my lives. All right. So, like I said, we are using some of this free Most Adored paper. This is free with a $60 purchase. Love this paper. Oh my gosh, the celebration papers are so fabulous. You are great, Sue. That is wonderful. I actually have a bit of a headache this morning. I'm thinking it's because there's supposed to be some kind of a system moving in, like, because it feels like spring. So, and I am prone to migraines due to temperature fluctuations and the air pressure, as well as sleep and stress. So, yes, so this is what we are going to be creating. What this can be found on page 11. I really like this. It's jumped out at me right away. We have we have 3 actually. The Be My Valentine on page 10, the Sending, which is a punch bundle, the Sending Love on page 11. And then we also have a couple others there's one where the Forever Love is also a love set, and oh shoot, I forgot to turn off the volume on my TV. So this other set, Adoring Hearts. So lots of love sets, but this one here, I have the Bee. I love the Bee. Really appealed to me, and I'm also using one of my most favorite ever embossing folders, the Distressed Tile from the holiday catalog. This carried over. So let's see. So we've got the Sending Love with, look at all these dies. Oh my gosh, so awesome. So then we have the Distressed Tile, and the exposed brick 3D embossing folder. Love this. These two, along with the time-worn type and the wood grain one. Those are my most used embossing folders. I just love them. Now because I'm doing 3 cards, I've already gone ahead and done some cutting and prepping. I've done a bunch of work ahead of time. I'm also using the little mini alphabet, little alphabet. Let me just pull that back in. This is great. It's all in one. Mini alphabet. So page 47. I'm using the mini alphabet. 44, 47 right here. It's tucked in the corner. You might not see it. So it is all in one. Now, you don't have to use a full sheet of cardstock if you don't want all the extra letters. You can just take a strip to die cut what you want. But, I mean, if you go ahead, like look at all my letters here that I've got from different things that I've done die cutting. So I've just got the alphabet letters here in a little dish so that they are at the ready for whenever I want to create something else. It's a really easy and quick way to have sentiments on hand, or letters on hand that you can quickly make your own sentiments. So let's get started here. My first card was inspired by Tammy White. Now, she called this an arrow fun fold card. Now, her card had a bit of, let's just move that over there. Her card had a bit of another piece of cardstock underneath here. So it opens like this, and then your sentiment would go here. This is the some of that most adored. I don't know why I keep calling it adored DSP. But I thought it was super fun. So I wanted to show you how to do it. Now my original card, my top piece was 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. But I forgot that when you emboss with a 3D embossing folder, because it's 3D, it not only does it stretch, but it manipulates your cardstock so that it shrinks it in some areas. So it shrinks it, it stretches it, it makes it all wonky. So I didn't like the way it fit on there. So what I did is I cut it to 4 by 5 1/4. So to do that, let's bring in our trimmer. So any trimmer you have will do. And I am going to, let's do this first. Get that out of the way. All right, so this piece of cardstock is 4 by 5 1/4. So I've got a pencil because it's too hard to see with without it. So, all right, so 2 1/2 is 5, right? So that means that 2 1/8 is 5 1/4. So there's my tick mark right there for the halfway. So we are going to, we're not going to put that away because we need to do our card base as well. So I'm going to line that tick mark up in the ditch, the gully, the whatever you want to call it, the cutting track. And I'm going to go from the corner of the cardstock to this. Let's zoom you in to make sure that you can see. Give me 1 second to check and make sure that we are good. So my tick mark is here and my corner of my cardstock is right there. So we are going to, and once that arm is down, I can see better to make sure. So slice that off. Now don't throw this away because you can use this for other projects. It's a decent size. So we are going to, that's the center. So we're going to rotate that. Typing up my instructions was fun. Trying to make it so that it wasn't confusing. But if you watch the video, there we go. So that is my piece for the inside. See? Easy peasy. Now let's move this back out of the way, and we're going to do our base. So let's take all of our bits so that we don't lose them. So this here is 5.5. So that means that it is 2 3/4 to make that 5.5. Doing a little bit of math here, but it's easy peasy math, right? So we're going to make a tick mark right there. So that's 2 3/4 there, and that's 2 3/4 there. Easy peasy. Okay, get that out of the way. Bring my trimmer back in. Okay, and then I'm going to line my tick mark with my scored. My base is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. So that's your basic base. So I've got my tick mark and that score line at that fold right there. There's the one slice. Now you're going to rotate it or flip it, whatever works for you. Get that tip right in that track, and that piece there, that corner, and snip. And there, so then we've got these pieces. So you can use these to do die cutting or whatever else. So we're just going to tuck that aside. We're done with the trimmer. So let's take and fold and burnish. Okay, now, so here's my bits. Now this bow here, I've got 2 pieces of my white because I wasn't sure if I was going to, I wasn't sure how well I was going to stamp this morning. So let's move that out of the way. Move that back in. Let's zoom you back out. Okay, so this here, look at how skinny this is. So adhesive sheets are your friend with the teeny tiny dies. So that's got, unless you've got a really good fine tip glue, I have one that the nozzle gets bunged up all the time. So I am very carefully, because this is delicate, so you don't want to be too rough with it. And I'm going to peel that adhesive backing off. And I should have done it on my hearts, but I did not. So there. Now it takes your cardstock, the adhesive sheets, they're in the annual catalog. It takes your cardstock to a sticker. So we're going to just put that there for the moment. Look at this cute envelope. This is Flirty Flamingo. So I'm going to, and it's all scored. The die scores as well as cuts. So we're going to fold and burnish. You love the distressed tile embossing folder as well. Yeah, it's a great folder and it looks so pretty. Wait till you see that card. Now, all of my cards, the measurements, photos will be on my coordinating blog post, which will go live about 15 minutes after I'm done. I have to insert this video to my blog post, and then, so we're just taking some liquid glue, folding, giving it a squeeze. Yeah, so I will insert my, I'll add my tags and my description to this video. Then I will insert it into my blog post, add the blog post link so that you can head on over there and get all of the measurements so that you could recreate with whatever products you've got. So I'm sealing this shut. You could leave it open to have that little, there is a little envelope stamp in here that you could have a little card there inside of it if you wanted, type of thing, or some hearts popping out of it. So, okay. So there we have our fun little envelope. Now we're going to flip that over and we're going to take our Moody Mauve bow and we're going to give that a press. And then my scissors are here somewhere. There they are. Flip that over and just snip those extra little bits off. There we go. All right, so I'm missing a heart. It's here. There it is. So 4 3/8 by 5 1/8, 4 by 5 1/4. So the back of this is specialty paper. It's got gold on the back. Good morning, Anne. I don't know if I said good morning to you or not. All right. I hope everybody had a good weekend. I watched a great movie on Saturday. I am doing a presentation for Kevin Thiessen. He is a U.S. demonstrator. He's got a Kevin's winter retreat, I think it's called. So I had to film for it because it's the same, it's the 19th and 20th, and my presentation is on the 20th, and I have a Stamp-A-Stack class that day. So while my video was uploading, I brought my laptop to the living room and watched TV, and I watched a new movie on Netflix called Good Grief, and it was written, directed, and starred Dan Levy. Oh my gosh, it was such a good pull at the heartstrings movie. I highly recommend it. All right, so we are just going to give this a little bit of an adjustment. Now, I like this better than my original because now I have that nice border of the Moody Mauve around it. So it sits like that. Yeah, I like that so much better than the very, very thin on this side. It fits better to me. All right, so now let's try to stamp. Okay, scoot you out of the way so that I can line that up. Bring in my Moody Mauve. Yeah, it feels like a spring day today, but there's a system coming in I have my Team Sassy Social on Saturday, and I am afraid of the weather. If we get a bad system, I've got some ladies coming from out of town. So we'll have to see. I don't want anybody on the roads if it's nasty. All right, I'm gonna have to get, actually, I gotta pull this. Sorry guys, I'm pulling this to me so that I can actually be right over it. And this is just a offcut strip when you're cutting down your cardstock. Oh, and I did okay. So I didn't have to use, it's not perfect, but it's good enough. And then I gotta wipe this because I'm using this for another card. So there we have our strip. So, and it's gonna go just like so on here. So let's bring this back. We don't need that strip. Can set that aside for another card. All right. Yeah, I posted on my Facebook business page and my Instagram a fun memory from 2018 where it was somebody had done up a funny image graphic about somebody thinking that they reached the North Pole or whatever and put their flag in, and another guy goes, sorry buddy, you're in Strathroy. So I thought it was very funny, so I had to share it because it was one of my a fun memory. And then today it's like 1 degree out. It's Celsius. It's crazy. This weather is crazy. So I am centering this like so. So we're going to actually open this like that. Let's scooch all my lovely little hearts to the side. All right. So that's going to go right here, and liquid glue allows you to take a moment to center in case you've got it just a little wonky. That looks good to me. Next, we're going to add a lot more glue to this envelope because there are the different layers because it's folded over on itself. So I want to make sure that my fun envelope stays on here. So about there, I think. That looks fairly centered. Let's just fold and see. No, we can come over just a smidge, see? Because I've got that liquid glue, I can adjust it slightly. There. Give that a moment. And then let's get our fun little hearts on here. So, might take your pick tool. So we're going to go one. That putty end is so fabulous for picking up things like this. So I like to arrange them first. And then, and two. So there is our card front. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my glue here and then place this on top. Then take that pokey end to just adjust it slightly, the orientation, if it's not exactly straight or angled the way I want it. Things like this, little tools like this make it so much easier to apply things like this. Now this die here, there's two of them. There's two of the dies, heart dies. So you get 8, you could do 8 hearts at once, which is fabulous for that little cluster. Okay, and we are, no, we're not. We have to put the inside piece in that we're going to, we have to glue. So that's the front. And then we're going to open this up to glue this in here. I would maybe write the sentiment on here, whatever you want to say to your recipient before you glue it on, in case you mess up. Sometimes I mess up. Sometimes I have a cat jump up at me on the, while I'm writing things. And then I make a boo-boo, my pen goes off, or I've got a dog starts scratching at my leg, or somebody comes in and startles me. So I like to write before I glue in. So there is card number 1. Isn't that fun? A different fold. Very cute. Okay, so let's move on to card number 2. And let's carefully bring all of this in. All right, so here's card 2. We're going to be doing some ink blending, and this is where I got my, I used the mini alphabet dies. So I've already stamped. Now this actually has a die, but I found it was just quicker to fussy cut it out. You know me, I don't mind fussy cutting, so yeah, excuse me. So, and then on the inside, I stamped a couple of the hearts, cluster of hearts, and colored them with my blends. So so this is the card front, this is the inside. So let's stamp in basic gray. Okay. Our hearts. There we go. Set that aside. And then let's take our mail. So this here, the die actually cuts the little hole for the flag. And we're going to be using some of the round and square brads. So before I go ahead, and this actually, it embosses as well. But if you take your stylus and you go across it, again, you're going to get a better crease. But before we start doing anything else, I am going to lay that down. I'm lining it up on my lines here on my glass mat. This glass mat is a, whoops, it's a one of the celebration offerings that you can choose as an option. So this is option 1, that you pay 100 and, let's get that straighter there. You pay 135. That's actually, I'm visual, guys. If you follow me, I'm visual. I want to make sure that my spacing is correct. So you pay $135. You choose $165 worth of products. It's a little crooked, but I'm going with it because I didn't die cut another one. You choose $165 worth of product. And you can get this glass mat for free. It's an $82 value. So option 2, so we're just going to take and fold and see, because that burnish line, that score line is not as deep, you have to kind of be careful. Option 2 is you pay $135 and you get to choose, besides your $165, you get $41 more to choose. So that is $206. There's never any shipping on the starter kit. You can live anywhere in Canada and be part of my team. In Ontario and a few other provinces, you don't have to pay tax either. Okay, so we are going to, before we do anything else, we are going to take our fun little flag. Now this is basic gray to match my ink color. And I'm going to slide that through and then flip it over. Grab my take your pick tool to open that and turn it so that I can then, now you could just put a gem on your card instead from the matte decorative dots. If you didn't want that extra like that, so then that still will move up and down. Okay, so let's bring in. And this also, this flap, you can close this. There is a score line here, so you can close that so that it is, so let's get that. So it closes like so to make a completely closed mailbox, and then open it up. Super cute. Now, I don't know if you're supposed to put it around the back, but that's what I did to make it that it's a little open. So I'm going to take my glue and run it across there and fold that over and hold it for a moment. Thanks, Sue. Yeah, this card, when I saw it, I thought immediately Happy Mail. When I saw the mailbox in that, I thought, oh, I could totally combine that because it's truly Happy Mail with all that love coming out of it. All right, so now let's move all this stuff to the side because we're going to do some ink blending. And the beauty of this glass mat is, instead of, if you follow me, you know I usually use my silicone craft sheet. However, this works beautifully because what I'm going to do is, there we go, there is my ink. And I am going to take my, oh, I need a Post-it. This is a tiny Post-it, so it makes it a little more difficult to hold. All right, so we're going to pull that in there, and I'm going to just stick that like that. All right, I'm picking up my ink. And I'm coming on here. There's got to be something on my, must have been something on the ink pad to have these little dots, but it's okay. So this way you're not wasting any ink. You're picking it right up from your glass mat. Let's move you up a little bit more. So you can go as light or as heavy. I just wanted that nice Coastal Cabana blue background. You could go and have the bottom as green grass or brown dirt, whatever you want your card front to look like. Okay, so I'm going to rotate. Come on, there we go. Oh, Sylvie just came in the room. Connor's cat, Sylvie. I posted some photos of that crazy girl the other day as well. Last night at 12:30, I heard something. It woke me up, and it was Sylvie crying. She was crying like I hadn't heard her cry before, and she was going on, and I was like, what is going on? Is she hurt? So I got out of bed, went down the hall, and she was sitting at the bottom of the stairs with a ball in her mouth. She dropped her ball and started crying at me. She wanted me to throw the ball to her at 12:30 a.m. It's like, oh my gosh. So I said, Sylvie, it is bedtime. We are sleeping. She cried for a few more minutes. I went back to bed. And I think she finally just realized that nobody was coming to play with her at that hour of the early morning. Like, my goodness. All right. I think I am good. So you can see here, there is no more Coastal Cabana ink there that is visible. However, I am going to just take my chamois here. And this is what comes with it. It dries really quickly though. But it's like our chamois here, but thicker, or but thinner, I should say. But does the same thing. Okay, and then nobody judge me. I need to bring a roll of paper towel in here because, yeah, I keep using my shirt. All right, so that covers that. All right. So now let's start assembling this card. So we are going to move this out of the way, move all my bits here so that I can see. All right. So I'm going to this is going to go to the bottom because this is going to sit like so. Let's put this up here so you can see. So that's going to sit like so. So I'm just kind of looking, and then my little grass mound or my little shrub hedge thing, whatever that is going to go like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach this first, and I am going to just apply my glue to the bottom. There we go, because that's going to be good enough. Scoot you up out of the way, and you're going to go right to the corner. You could die cut way more grass if you want. I just wanted the one, and then I'm going to flip it over to make sure that I am even. There we go. Next, I'm going to take my liquid glue with my fence post. Now this, again, would have been better with the adhesive sheets because this has the cut lines in it, but I'm not going super heavy, so I'm not going to get a bunch of glue gushing out. And then this is going to, because I did not put glue up top here, so I'm just going to take my fingernail and lift that slightly and scooch that down in about there, and then give it a press. And then this is going to go on top like so. And I'm going to use a lot of glue here. This is not going to be glued down. This is going to be just floating. So, like so. And then give that a moment. Now you can move this up as much or as low as you want. However, because I've got that happy on top here, I don't want it up too high because it's going to block my area for my letters. So let's scoot you out of the way. So we have, and then these little, fine little pieces of cardstock. Can just kind of brush them off. Okay, so I think my mailbox is a little higher than my original, but that's okay. Every time you do it, it's going to be a little different. P and Y. So this could be a Valentine, but it could also be a happy birthday card. It could be a anniversary card, whatever kind of card you want, really. Because it just says happy mail. So, all right. So now let's get them kind of straightened up. And that's where my take your pick tool comes in. Like if you don't have one of these, come on, because I'm reaching. If you don't have one of these in your craft room, you really should get one. They are awesome. I use it every time I create. So I want you a little lower. Whoop. I always line up my letters first before I start gluing so that I can see, do I need to adjust spacing or placement? Come on. I'm trying to be delicate. There, so you need to come over just a smidge. Yes, this can be tedious. And adhesive sheets would have been perfect for these as well. But it's okay. All right, I'm going to just start gluing. So pick it up. And you can see I don't have a lot of glue on there. And right Okay. So do you have this set, Sue? Does anybody that's watching, do they have this set? What's your favorite from the mini catalog and the celebration? Have you ordered yet? Do you have a wish list? Okay. Whoop, stuck to my finger. And my last letter is my Y, and it looks pretty good. I'm not looking for perfect. There we go. And I got those little bits everywhere. Okay, so I've already stamped and cut. So I've got a dot of glue there, and I'm going to take my heart, my die cut heart, one of them, and it's going to go right in the center, come on, of that envelope, like so. Super cute. And I'm also going to add I'm going to add a glue dot, or a dimensional. And a dimensional. And because the one is on a layer, the one part is on a layer of cardstock, part of it is going to be here. I don't think I remembered this on my project, my supply list. So I'm just adding a glue dot because that is going to lift that up just that smidge more. So it's going to go like on an angle, like it's coming out of the mailbox, like so. There we go. So now, oh, we can take this and we can, so yes, this card here is a bit more fun and involved, but oh, so cute. You wouldn't mass produce these, that's for sure. But you can make a few of them. Okay, now we've got a heart here and a heart here. Let's bring you up a smidge, like so. And then one here and here. And they're going to be kind of angled this way and that way. So when I like that orientation, so right here is my dot of glue. Give that a press. Pick up my next one, dot of glue. If you haven't used adhesive sheets, why try to with that teeny tiny little thing. Why try to get glue on here and then get it all over your hands? We don't want that. So put your glue on your bigger area. There's more area to put it here. You're not going to get glue all over your fingers. Makes it easy peasy. And then that one is kind of that way. So there are all our fun hearts attached. So let's fold and burnish our card base, which is real red. And it again is it's 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4.25. So there we go for the card front. And then we just have to color. So let's close that for a moment. Move that to the side, that to the side. Bring in our cardstock. Now, the classic ink pads, these are water-based ink. So that means you can use your Stampin' blends, which are alcohol-based, with them. You don't have to use the Memento Tuxedo Black ink. If you don't want black, you can use any color in the classic ink pads because they are water-based, just like the Memento is. And I find sometimes black is just a little too harsh for me. I like the look of the softer look of the outline with basic gray. It's really my go-to quite frequently. So, all right, there we have that. Cute, cute, cute. A little bit of love on the inside. And open that up. And away we go with card number 2. There we have it. So there's card number 2. It's a little darker than the original and it's a smidge higher, but it is just as adorable. Okay, card number 3. This, guys, is my favorite. And here is that distressed tile. Oh, I love that embossing folder. So here we have, now this is, we're going to bring that trimmer back in. So to create this card, this is 5.5 by 8.5, the regular. 5.5 by 8.5. However, I have just lopped off that side of the card front. So all I did was take it and my base and slide it in over to my 1 inch. And there you go. That can be used for something else. Now we're going to do some heat embossing. So let's do that first. So let's move these cards out of the way. Put that card there. Put that there to cover that glare. All right, so our strip, because this is all cut down. So we've got our embossing buddy. And sometimes I like to use it on my hands too to get rid of that static so that nothing is going to stick. We're using the exact same sentiment, a little love from me to you. Oh, let's put that lid back on that glue. And our Versamark. And all of the measurements Like I said, will be found on my blog post. It'll be live about 15 minutes after we're done here. There we go. Get that out of the way. Bring in my white embossing powder. Okay. Okay, and I need I have a dedicated paintbrush to take off any of that excess. I don't want like confetti snow on my sentiment here, so all right, that looks pretty good. You can also use your pick tool, and what I'm going to do, see that E right there? There's a little there. I got it. So we are good. Always close up that embossing powder. You don't want to be blowing that all over the place. And I'm going to heat up my heat tool first before, get it nice and warm so it doesn't take as long. All right, so once you see it go shiny, it has melted, the heat has melted and set that embossing powder. And you have to be careful you don't burn your hands. Don't touch it too soon because it's going to be super duper hot. But make sure that there's no, it's all shiny. So there we go. All right. So let's fold and burnish our base. And then here are all our bits. So we need, all our envelopes have to have their little hearts on it. So here's our piece that is embossed. Okay, actually we don't want to get glue on that. Let's just move that over. I like to be sure that I'm not getting glue everywhere because sometimes the glue does come out a little gushy. So okay. Line that up. Give it a press. Flip it over and give it a better press. And there we have that. So that is going to go on our card front here. I love my layers. I think it just adds to it. So if you have not really noticed this Sending Love bundle, I hope my 3 cards have inspired you to take another look at it. Okay, so this again is the most adored, most adored. I can't. um, adored paper. That fun heart. So this is 1 inch. So this is going to go right 1 inch by 5 and 3/8. Okay. And this is 3 by 5 and 3/8. This is my insert for writing my sentiment. And that is going to, we're going to have a border around that as well. There we go. So that is how it looks. Oh, such a pretty card, I think. Such a pretty card. And like I said, it's my favorite of these three. Hello, Marina. You just got home. Did you work early this morning? All right, so we are doing some champagne iridescent dots on this as well. I looked at all my embellishments and thought that the champagne were the best match for the feeling I was going through. So I did 5 of these envelopes. So flip all of my hearts over. And that one. Oh. All right. So there's a mixture of big and small. Well, oh my goodness. It's like I've got Velcro on my fingers this morning. I don't know if you just heard that, but my tummy just grumbled. I'm surprised Miss Maisie is not whining at me because it is lunchtime. It's past her lunchtime. She generally eats at 11:30. So it's good for her to wait. There's 1, 2, scooch you, 3, 4. I knew that today would be, oh, I have an extra heart there. I knew today would be longer because I had 3 cards to share. These are my Maisie's makes for the month of January. And I have I tweaked it. So every $50 you spend with me using this month's host code, not including class orders, you can choose either Maisie's Makes or Marcy's Merch. Marcy's Merch this month is going to be a new embellishment. I'm not going to know what the embellishment is going to be until the end of the month. So it can be cumulative. So if you order Paper Pumpkin from me, that would go. And then if you put in a another $30 type of order, that would add. So it all adds up. And at the end of the month, everybody that has ordered from me, minimum of $60, gets either Maisie's Makes or Marcy's Merch. And then if you spend, if $50. So if you spend $60, you get both Maisie's Makes and Marcy's Merch. So I will send you, nothing will be stamped. So I will send you all of the card guts that you need. So you'll get cardstock. You'll get the die cut hearts. This will be embossed. You'll get the strip of paper so that you could use whatever you've got. I'm just going to cut this down a bit here. So you use whatever you've got to create the cards. But if you've got this bundle, and then Love is by itself, and To You is by itself, and then I'll clean up my cutting. So There we go. And if you put in an order, like if you put in a $60 order like tomorrow, I would actually try to get these out before the end of the month so that you can use them. If you're going to send it as a Valentine, one of them, you can use it for right away type of deal. And then this just needs to be straightened. Just there we go. Oops, that goes to the top. So it doesn't matter if you stamp this crooked. It's going to, because you're cutting it down, it's going to be fine. And that's not very straight there. Okay. And we need to come in just slightly. There's a bit of a curve. There. And then a little, almost done, almost done. I know I've kept you a while. But we made 3 pretty cards. Lots of inspiration, a different fold. That actually is quite easy. So like I said, that was Tammy White that had done. There we go. So I'm going to take and put my it's like they're kind of falling across the card front here. So I want to do my envelopes first. There we go. And I think that's good. So I'm going to pick up and a little bit of glue there. Don't glue it on upside down. So that's going to be angled like so. Give that a press. Pick up our next one. Give that a press. And this heart, scoot you over a smidge. There we go. So I'm not worrying about them being perfectly spaced at all. I'm just getting them on here so that they look cute and that they are not, you know, the exact same. This one is a little more angled. We want them all to look slightly different. And then you can go like so. And I apologize, there's Miss Maisie barking. All right, so to you goes right there. And then from me, now that's really tiny. So it's a good thing I have little hands. There we go. And every time you do this card, it would look a little different depending on your spacing and everything. But like I said, this is my favorite card of the three. Do you have a favorite card? Whoop. And this is skinny too because they've got that mixed font. Okay. So a little love from me to you. Now, before we do anything, let's just lift that up to make sure that we're fairly straight. You can go just, there we go. That looks good to me. So now we're going to do our embellishments. So these don't have adhesive on the back, so you definitely need glue. So we are just gonna, let's see, grab some of these out to make it a little quicker and easier. All right, so I want, whoops, I just hit the glue. Just bounced right through it, and there we go. 1 and 2, stick, 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 and 3. And then we're going to go 2 up here, 4 and 5. All right, flip you over. These things are fabulous. There's so many in this package. And this again is from the mini spring catalog. And there we have it. Like, look at how tiny some of these are. Oh, I love them. I love them. They're the champagne iridescent dots. And I think they just finished that card off perfectly. All right, so that is, oh, you didn't work, you were doing some errands. Nice. So that is the 3 cards today. So this was our last one. That, I guess you could consider that a fun fold. And then we had our happy mail. So a little love, happy mail. And then this one here is the arrow fold from Tammy White. Also a fun fold. So there we have today's cards. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. I hope you like today's cards. Leave me a comment below. And don't forget to head on over to my website in about 15 minutes. If you're watching live, if you're watching the replay, then it's already over there. All right. Thanks so much for spending some time with me today. Have a great day. Have a great rest of your Monday, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.